It's our last new moon of winter. My friend, we are talking about this new moon in Pisces that takes place on March 18th, 2026 at 8:23 p.m. Central Time. Adjust that to your time zone. This is happening in Pisces, my friend, in sidereal astrology, which is what we follow here, is in Pisces season. So this new moon is hitting us in Pisces as well. As every single new moon has its own energy and its own flair. And in this video, we are going to talk about what that is and how and what it is calling for us to move through, to bring forward, to bring into consciousness so that we can lead ourselves through this energy. My friend, if you are new here, hello, and welcome. My name is Danie C. Muniz. I am the founder of Sacred CEO and the creator of this channel here. I teach conscious leadership and I help women navigate from self-awareness to self-leadership. In this video, we are going to talk about that new moon. So let's dive in because there is a lot to talk about, my friend. First off, we are talking about a new moon. So if you are new to the lunar cycle, the new moon is the lowest energy point of the lunar cycle. It's also the time where we plant seeds, we plant intentions. We are in that energy of this is a new season that we're entering, a new cycle that we're entering. So you can correlate that to like a new month. And in the new moon, it always has its own energy because it's in a particular zodiac sign. Now, this one in particular is in Pisces, and Pisces is the energy of more of spirituality, of divine connection, of our intuition, our dreams. It's a very compassionate and empathetic energy. And it's the last of the zodiac, which people often call the wise one of the zodiac. It is in a water sign, so it's got that emotional mastery at this point. Now, in this particular new moon, it is connecting to a couple of different energies. So as I begin to share my screen, just a quick update. If you did not know, this is on two different platforms that you can connect to this information. Number one, it is on the podcast. So if you want to listen to the audio version of this, it is on the podcast, the Cosmic Mystic podcast currently. And you can find that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all of your favorite podcast platforms. If you want to see the chart that I'm going to pull up in just a second, then you're definitely going to want to come on over to the YouTube channel where you can see the video version of this information. Okay, so here we go. We are sharing my screen and I'm going to show you what is connected to this particular new moon. So we have, this is what's happening in the sky here at the time of this new moon. Now, if we stream all of this back and just look at what is happening or what is connected to this new moon, how is it being influenced? As I often say, when we're looking at conjunctions, which is what happens when the sun and the moon come together, so the sun has been doing its thing, the moon comes and catches up with it once a month, and at this particular time, we have a couple of other planets who are hanging out together. We've got Saturn here, and we've got Neptune here. Neptune is that intuition, that connection to the divine. It is your spiritual gifts. It's your visions, your dreams, and Saturn being that structure, that discipline, right? That idea of form. Now, these two together, they've been traveling together for a while now and really inviting us into having some structure to our lives and also into our practices, helping us have more boundaries and create more structure within our spiritual practices. And so this has been hanging out for a while, but now it's coming in with this energy of the new moon in Pisces. So there's almost this energy of letting go of what has been and bringing some things to a close. And it's also this energy of how are we bringing this structure and this soul into this new year. Pisces, as I said, is the last zodiac sign, and it is right here on this verge, which we usually see is either right before the equinox or right after the equinox. We usually will see this last new moon here in Pisces somewhere around that time frame. And so there's this ending energy, and there's also this beginning energy that's happening with this particular new moon. Now, the other connection that we see over here is Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus currently, and this is making what's called a sextile. So this is a very friendly and supportive energy that is supporting this new moon. Now, Uranus being that energy of unexpected support, maybe innovation, maybe liberation, but really because it is in Taurus, it's very grounding and stabilizing. So it's almost as if we are grounding this innovative energy into the day to day. And we can see that in many ways in our current, if we look at the outer external world and the uproar of AI and how it's infiltrating all of the things that we do, our daily lives, right? It is definitely, we're seeing that innovative energy really stabilize into our society. Now, here are some things that this particular new moon is asking of us with this particular makeup, right? With that sun and moon conjunct the Neptune and the Saturn in Pisces energy and that sextile over to Uranus. So this is what this is really bringing forward for us, is asking to really plant seeds or to connect or to combine in some way, shape, or form spirit and structure, intuition and strategy, our dreams and goals and the discipline, and the mystical or ethereal with the material. That is what this Neptune, Saturn, Pisces, practicality, commitment, Pisces and Taurus energy really connecting into bringing things into that material, into that structure. So what's being planted, if we think about in our lives, what are the things that we can plant here? Now, we can look at things like our morning spiritual practices or our daily routines and how these can become non-negotiable. So some people have the identity, it is not my identity, but some people have the identity that it doesn't matter what time of day, it doesn't matter what's been going on, it doesn't matter where they're at, it doesn't matter the weather, but if they're to get a workout in, they will get their workout in. I have a neighbor here in our community that walks probably 2 to 3 times a day, and it doesn't matter what the weather is. He'll be out there with his sweaters and sweats and a beanie of some sort, or he'll be out there in his tank top and his little shorts. Like, it doesn't matter. He has that identity of somebody. It is a non-negotiable for him to go out and do his walks. This is inviting that into our lives, in our intuition, in our spiritual practices. How is that, or how are those a non-negotiable in our life? Now, if you're somebody who doesn't currently have a spiritual practice or is looking for ideas or really needs to get back on, right, to some structure in that way, I do have a daily spiritual practice workbook that gives you like a flow of things that you can do throughout the day. It also has daily intention sheets that you can fill out every single morning to really ground your energy in and really be the conscious leader of your day. Now, the other things that we might look at with this new moon as we're thinking about planting the seeds is, are you making decisions from your intuition? Are you getting those intuitive hits, those downloads, whether you're like me that gets them first thing in the morning or sometimes in the shower or when I'm in a meditation, or especially during a full moon breath work, I usually will receive that information or receive some messages during that time And those are decisions that I'm making or I'm looking to make in my business or in my life. And this new moon is like, how are you using that information? Are you going straight to a chat GPT and asking for information, or are you allowing what is within you to come forward and then maybe input that? I'm not somebody who's against AI. I believe we need to embrace it and understand it so that we can work with it, because it's not going anywhere. And so let's learn to work with it, right? And so that's something for you to look at. Do you go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what do I do? What do I post on social media? Or are you coming to yourself and saying, what do I need to know about this decision? What is the message that I'm here to say today? What does my person need to hear? And then allowing that to come through, and then maybe going to ChatGPT and helping it get organized, right? Sometimes I will just channel right into ChatGPT and say, hey, here's what's coming through. Let's maybe organize this, or let's see where this fits into what I'm currently working on or doing. So these are ways that you can bring in that intuition, bring in those spiritual practices. Another thing that I like to do personally is, if I'm looking at a decision of some sort, is I will pull oracle cards or I'll pull tarot cards, and I'll pull the quick 3-4 card spread. Sometimes I'll just do a 1 card, where I'll just pull a 1 card and ask for the information, whether it's what do I need to remember for today? Or what is something I'm not seeing, right? What is the information as it relates to this decision that I'm making? What guidance could I receive, right? And it's just getting that practice of not just pulling a card for myself, but looking at decisions that I'm making in my life and in my business. How can I use that divine wisdom as well, right, as any logic or any outside, maybe like sources. So as you're looking at this particular new moon and you're looking at the intentions, this is the energy, is bringing in that structure and that spiritual, that soul, that spirit. How can we bring both into our businesses and our lives and our careers, the things that we're doing? That's really what this is asking you or inviting you into. So you have an opportunity right now, my friend, to look at what are the ways in which I'm creating boundaries in my time, making my spiritual practices non-negotiable, making sure that my intuition is leading the decisions that I'm making. And I'll note here that we always want to be mindful of what filters we may have. This is one of the reasons why doing the work, whether that's shadow work, trauma, healing trauma, that is where we are removing the filters or shifting the energy around the filters that we may have, which sometimes cause our intuition to either be blocked or us not to be able to hear it or allow it to come forward. It's like sometimes it's so very quiet that we can't hear it. And we're like, I don't know how to trust my intuition. I don't know, because it's blocked maybe by things, filters that are in the way. And so this is a good opportunity to say, maybe if I'm not able to hear my intuition, or I haven't trusted my intuition, or my intuition, I've heard this too, right, failed me. And it could be because there are filters. And so maybe this new moon is about really clearing some of that stuff, or allowing you to step back into trusting your intuition once again, or to maybe even follow it, right? Because a lot of times we hear the messages, but we don't actually follow through. So this might be that reminder for you. So look at ways in which you can bring your spiritual practices into everything that you're doing. Maybe it's not just that morning routine, but maybe it's in your business or in your career decisions or in your relationships, right? Maybe it's in the things that you're offering. This is all here, my friend, to support you. So with that, I invite you to set a new moon intention about whether it's something that you want to bring into your life, that you want to work on, that you want to focus on in this next cycle, whether that is the next 29 and a half days, or whether that is the bigger cycle of 6 months or longer. Or maybe it's something that you want to bring to an end, something that like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm ready to wrap the little bow on it and send it on its merry way, because it is not coming with me into this next season, into this new year, as we look forward to spring returning and the new zodiacal year. All right, my friend, with that, I would love, love, love to hear what your new moon intention is, or maybe even just what came up for you as you listened to this episode or watched this video. Please let me know down below in the show notes, or you can always come on over to Instagram. I'm at Danie C Muniz on all social platforms, and send me a message and let me know what your new moon intention is. And with that, my friend, if you want more support in leading your life, becoming 100% responsible for your decisions, making decisions on your terms, living life on your terms, then I would love to invite you into Sacred CEO Collective. If you feel called, there is more information down below in the description and the show notes. And don't forget, if you want that spiritual practice, that is also down below in the show notes, my friend. There's so much more resources as well. So be sure that you are following along, whether it's the podcast or the YouTube channel. And with that, my friend, we bring this to a close. Have a great, happy new moon. And remember to keep shining your unique light.